So I have the pork loins here. This is the female, this is the male. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the back straps and we're gonna make Canadian bacon. This doesn't take that long, so I really wanted to make sure that it was done really properly. Maple syrup, brown sugar, sodium nitrate, garlic granulated, black pepper that's been freshly ground, then bay leaves, okay? And salt, of course. So I think what's really important is I saw this YouTuber, I don't know what his name was, but you know, it's called the equilibrium brine, and I really like the idea behind it. So that's what I'm doing here. What you do is you take the weight of the pork and then you put everything else in percentages. And I'll go over that you know, in a voiceover, maybe in another video. But just so you know, I have 2,600 grams of pork. And then basically, you know, a percentage of that is salt, a percentage of that is nitrate, a percentage of that is sugar. You do the dry brine and then you season the meat and then you put it in a vacuum bag, and it's called the equilibrium brine. And what's great about this is you can't overdo it. The amount of salt is the amount of salt. Now it takes longer, but it saves more space and everything's controlled. I'm gonna try this and I'm also gonna smoke it, and I'm super excited. I can't wait. This is gonna be actually great. I love Canadian bacon, so this is gonna be fun. But I'm curious to see how the wild boar tastes. So remember, look, this looks just like pork, straight up. This wild boar was in captivity. So ever since it was a piglet, it's been raised in captivity. So that's why the meat looks really pink. So anyway, let's get into it. So basically this is 120 grams of maple syrup, and it's pretty much 20 grams each pound of pork. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna just cover everything. I have to figure out what is actually gonna fit in the cryovac bag. I think what's really important is just getting everything completely covered. That's what's gonna give it that nice Canadian bacon taste. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with our mix. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make sure this is mixed up really nice. It smells really great. Generously sprinkle. And then I wanted to make sure that this hand was dry so that way I can get a nice even coating. You know, if I wasn't a trained chef, like if I wasn't trained on like actually running a restaurant and recipe development, I think this would be super intimidating to me, you know, and I'd be watching a ton of videos. But, you know, it's funny because even as a chef, I think even though I haven't done something for a while, I always look on the internet and then compare and contrast, and then I figure out what I want to do. It makes you educate yourself, you know, on what's possible. Learning how to do like this and canning and preserving is important. Hunting for your own food, I think, is important. You know, I'm so used to, as a chef, going to the freaking grocery store and grabbing a pork loin. And this one I have so much more respect for. Anyway, I'm gonna get it in a cryovac bag. All right, we're going in. So we have our Canadian bacon, and then we also have our ham, holiday ham. So this has been dry brined, cured, okay? Same thing with this. This has a rub of just honey and Dijon mustard. And this one obviously maple syrup. So I'm gonna put the ham closer to the firebox. And then the Canadian bacon over here. Perfect. And we'll check back in a couple hours. It is actually really tasty. Super tasty. The only thing is obviously the black straps are flattened, which I would not do next time. That is purely my fault. I flattened them. I had 2 ham hocks on top of them, so it flattened them into that shape. Totally my fault. Next time I would keep them in cylinders, so I'll wrap them in plastic wrap up. Chilies all the way and then slice them tomorrow, see how they come out. But in all honesty, the flavor is immaculate. It's so good. That almond smoke is really nice, but it's not overcooked at all. It's not over brined either, which is really good.